Hi, I'm Ellen and I'm with the Economics Tutoring Center at ASU, and today we will be learning about perfect substitutes and perfect complements. So you can identify whether your utility function is depicting a perfect complement or perfect substitutes, and so we're going to learn how to identify that and look at what the graphs look like. So for the utility function for perfect substitutes, it's going to look something like this. So the reason that we know that this function would be depicting perfect substitutes is because we see there's no relationship between x and y. We know that, like, based off of the prices of x and y, they're either going to consume x or consume y. So the utility graph would look something like this. So you would see that the functions would be straight lines, and when the consumer was optimizing their consumption, they would consume at these points, either all of x or all of y based off of price. So that's perfect substitutes. So now for perfect complements. So if you remember, perfect complements are when two goods rely upon each other to be consumed. So an example might be like peanut butter and jelly for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So the utility function shows that you can only consume the minimum of x or y. So the smaller value, whether it's x or y, restricts your consumption. So the utility functions for perfect complements will look something like this. Look like this L shape because the overall consumption is limited by the minimum value of either x or y. And when utility is maximized, the consumer is going to choose points at the corner of the utility functions. Now that we have our two depictions of perfect substitutes and perfect complements, we can think about examples that articulate the relationships between x and y. So with our perfect substitutes, you maybe are thinking about how maybe x is almond butter and y is peanut butter, and we're saying that they're perfect substitutes. And so based upon the price of our almond butter or the price of our peanut butter, the consumer is going to either consume only almond butter or only peanut butter. And whether our consumer consumes all peanut butter or all almond butter is dependent on the prices of those goods. Keep in mind that with perfect substitutes, it's either x or y. The opposite is with perfect complements. We see that we have an and relationship between x and y. So if x was jelly and y was peanut butter, and we understand them to be perfect complements, the utility function is constrained by the minimum value of either jelly or peanut butter. And so we see from the curves that there's an and relationship. You need peanut butter and jelly. And we see that utility maximizing points are at the corners of our functions. So overall, complements have an and relationship. You need x and y. And perfect substitutes have an or relationship. You're going to consume x or y. So I hope this was helpful. If you have more questions, please come into the tutoring center or see your professor.